Hello, everybody. How's it going? This is Kenny Stahl, and you are watching Kenny Stahl Live. Thank you guys for joining and watching this. So, how you doing? I don't know. Are you guys happy? How's everybody feeling right now? I mean, I know my audience. I know all the people who watch me. Odds are you're not happy. Like, who's happy nowadays? Nobody's happy in life anymore. Like I know what people are like. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. This is just a little way for me to interact with you guys. So if you're watching this live, thank you for joining and watching a live stream. I'll try to do these more often. I don't do a good job of doing these very often, but I enjoy doing them, getting questions from you guys. So thank you. And I know that there's a lot of new people who just joined the channel, a lot of people who are new subscribers, and if you just joined recently, I want to say thank you for subscribing. You guys are awesome. So what can we talk about today? You guys have anything you guys want to talk about in particular? I don't really have much going on, honestly. I'm kind of tired right now. I was going to do the live stream a couple hours earlier, and then all of a sudden I didn't feel like doing it, so I pushed it back a couple hours, procrastinating a little bit. So thank you guys for joining. So we got a few people saying hi, so hello to everybody in the chat. If you guys have anything you guys want to ask me, if you want to let me know a little bit about yourself, let me know who you are, where you're from, what you're going through right now, any issues, stuff like that. I would be more than happy to try to answer questions or help you guys think about stuff. I don't know. I don't really know what to do. Like I don't prepare very well for live streaming. We have that guy saying I stopped everything I'm doing to watch this. And, yeah, I mean, I guess I can do that. It's kind of weird to have a channel and just kind of sit here and talk about stuff to you guys. I don't really know what to talk about at the time. I mean, I guess I've made a lot of videos where I've talked about being lonely and having no friends. So this is actually a good way for me to not feel so lonely because I can interact with you guys. But, it's like, am I going to get known to be the guy who is lonely? Am I going to be known as that guy who makes videos on the internet talking about how he doesn't have friends and kind of socially awkward and social anxiety and all sorts of weird stuff like that? Is that going to be me? And, I've been thinking about that a lot and looking back on all my videos because, I try to do that. And it's like, man, I don't know how that's going to be, there's not really much I can say about it. Like, there's not really much I can talk about anymore, like the whole idea of not having friends. But, wow, we got a lot of comments all of a sudden. Where did these all come from? Thank you guys for joining. We have, hi, Kenneth, I love your channel. We have, yay, you smiled. We have, what's up, Kenny? How have you been? We have, I'm in Houston, Texas. Thankful that Hurricane Harvey has left town. Yeah, that's right. There was that awful, devastating hurricane that left a lot of people, and man, that's got to be rough. I can only imagine what people are going through there. I mean, that's just a natural disaster, flooding and homes destroyed, people like literally losing everything. Like, could you imagine like losing everything in life like that? I mean, those people, like, they are at the worst time in their life right now, and it's just kind of a sad thing to think about, because you just know that these people are going through the worst time in their life, and that's something that I think about a lot. Unfortunately, I can't really help myself but to be the kind of person to really consider, like, what are the worst case scenarios that people go through in life, and just kind of having to think about, like, what it must feel like to go through that, because as myself, I don't go through those kinds of tragedies in my life. My life has been pretty uneventful, not very many tragic moments for me, thankfully, knock on wood. But it's when you see somebody else, I guess, that's going through something like that, the only thing you can do is try to help out and understand and be there supportive. But there's not really much to do, except for donate money in a case like this to help those people out. So yeah, awful thing that happened there in Texas, the hurricane. Let's see what we got. Question, was wondering if you ever tried antidepressants. Just picked up, okay, you have Lexapro, terrified to take it, wondering if I've taken them. No, I have not ever taken any kind of antidepressants or anything. I don't know why. Just I'm kind of like a guy who has a weird like tendency to not take medication for anything. I haven't really needed it for any major issues that I've had, other than, maybe there's a case to be made that I need antidepressants, but I don't know. I just haven't had to use them. I know that they work. Like, I mean, I don't know if they'll work for you, but in general, they can work. I think it's a case-by-case basis where some people need them, some people would rather not use them. So it just depends on what your situation is. If you have them, maybe just try them out. I don't really know what to say, but I don't know if anybody else watching this has any experience with them. Feel free to leave a comment here in the chat. We got a comment here saying, I'm severely depressed. I deleted Facebook, so isolated so bad. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'm familiar with, is the idea of isolation. It's kind of a weird thing, to think about, just socially isolating yourself from people, and feeling like you have nobody. I have done that on my own, unintentionally, just kind of avoiding people. Like, I just don't make friends very easily, and I just, like, I would go a long time without talking to people, and it's like, I don't really think about it very often until there's those, like, just lonely nights where I realize that I don't really have many people to talk to. Let's see, what else can I don't really know. As far as, like, deleting Facebook, Facebook is, like, a weird thing, like, that everything's weird. I keep using that word weird. Kind of a weird thing, right? I always say that, like, oh, depression is kind of a weird thing if you think about it, or isolation, kind of a weird thing if you think about it. Facebook, kind of a weird thing if you think about it. I gotta stop saying that, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, deleting Facebook, I know a lot of people done that. It might help to kind of, avoid all the social media posts that people put up that can just get you overthinking about stuff and get you too focused on what other people are doing, but and kind of like get you some free time to, like, just focus on yourself and do what you want to do. And I don't know, I don't really know the reasons. I haven't done it myself. I still have Facebook. I can't help it. What else do we have? Here's a question: what career or business areas should people with social anxiety, awkwardness pursue? Oh, that's a good question. Very good question, because I have social anxiety, which makes it very hard for me to like, I could not do very well in a job where I would have to speak at meetings or group discussions a lot, because I'm quiet and I have social anxiety, so I wouldn't participate much. It's like, so if I need to, like, have an active role in communicating with other people frequently, so it's like, if you want a job with social anxiety, I mean, just a career, that allows you to be working on your own, for sure, where you don't need to be in groups very often. It certainly wouldn't be something where you, have to go. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be, I don't know. Depending on what your situation is, it probably wouldn't be a good idea if you have social anxiety to get a job where you have to go meet clients of some sort, or, like, have to chat with people regularly, because I know that for me, like, just having to come up with, like, small talk with people, like, that's just not something I know how to do. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't know how to small talk, and it's not that like, I don't necessarily want to, or I avoid it all the time. It's just that I don't know how to. Like, I literally don't know how to just have, like, regular small talk with somebody. That has left me with a lot of uncomfortable, awkward moments of silence when I'm around people, and that just makes it even more uncomfortable for me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't said anything to this person. I'm just sitting here in silence. Like, is this person, like, wondering, like, why I'm so quiet? Or I'm probably, like, man, it's like I'm just in my head so much. But as far as career, I don't know. Like, it depends, I guess, what your situation is. We have another comment saying, "You're so real in your videos, so real. I respect that." Well, I mean, I tried, like, that's the one thing is that I just try to be real. I try to be myself. I don't try to hide things. I try to be as open and honest as possible, because a lot of times with these videos is that, you don't get to hear people talk about their real innermost thoughts and feelings that often. I mean, you do. It's not like there aren't people that talk openly, but it's weird that we live in a society or in a culture that the majority of people are pretending to be something to others, or the majority of people are suppressing their true thoughts and feelings, or the majority of people would rather be fake and, hide everything. It's like, so when somebody comes along who is just saying it how it is, being honest, for me, it's opening up about, negative thoughts and emotions and feelings that I have, and struggles that I have, social anxiety and stuff. It's like, you just don't hear it that often. And that's why people like gravitate towards like people like that are like that. I guess me in this case, like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why people actually watch my stuff, or even I don't even understand why you guys are here right now. Like, why would you guys be here right now and listening to me? Like, I'm literally a nobody. Like, I don't do anything with my life. I don't have that many great things about me, but if I'm going to have this opportunity to speak to you guys, if I'm going to have this opportunity to be in front of this camera right now and make all these videos, I'm going to make sure that I try my best to say stuff that is worth hearing, be as real as I can be as honest as I can be, say stuff that typically people don't say, and that's just it. Let's see, we have, "I hate meds too, don't even like to take Tylenol." Yeah, I don't like to take anything. Growing up, I had this, when I had to like take a pill for some reason, when I was like, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 or 10 or 11, I don't know, young, like, I couldn't get myself to swallow the pill because of some gag reflex. And as I got older, like, in like my teens, like, I think then there was like something that came up at like 16 where it was like some, like, maybe just like a vitamin or something that I was gonna take at like 16, and I tried to do it, and like that gag reflex and my memories of like not being able to do it when I was younger kicked in, and like I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this. So I think today, if I was to try to take I have never taken a pill in my life ever, because I never got over that gag reflex, although I haven't tried it in 5-6 years to even take one. So I'm curious. I'm sure that I understand that it's just a gag reflex, and I could probably get myself to do it anyway today if I tried, but I just haven't had any. Like, I want to take like vitamins and stuff, or whatever you call them, whatever, I don't know what I'm saying, like stuff, but I don't. Kind of a weird little thing about me. Let's see, where am I at? A lot of comments I got to get to. Thank you guys for joining. By the way, if you guys like the stream, if you like the videos, if you like my channel, if you want to help me out with the channel, supporting financially, you can always, just as a reminder, use Super Chat to donate to myself. And I don't need your money, but, it's a feature on YouTube, and I like the feature because you guys have helped me out. You guys have already helped me out so much on this channel, and you guys are amazing, so thank you. Let's see, where was I at? Jacob saying, "Hey, I've watched almost all your videos. I've laughed and cried with you." That's interesting to hear. That's great to hear. I mean, yeah, it's just an emotional mess for me, crying a lot, talking about my feelings. I will try to, it's kind of, I'm not in such an emotional mess of a place anymore. I've kind of cooled it down a little bit, and recently I've been pretty good. I haven't, I used to cry all the time, and over the past this year, I have really done a better job at not having these emotional breakdowns and crying like I used to always do. I still cry. I can always cry. I could probably make myself cry right now if I wanted to. I just got to think about how much I hate my life and everything. But I don't know why I laughed at that. But I've been doing good lately. So a lot of my videos now coming up in the future are going to be more just thoughtful, think about this kind of, stuff and be honest and real. And, less and less of the videos that you'll be seeing will be me actually having emotional moments. But I'll still talk about everything, as much as I can. Let's see. What else we got? I am like you. I always stay in the house. Facebook is not good for social anxiety sometimes. Facebook is fake. I felt so much better after deleting mine too. Let's see. I used to complain about having no social life, but I'm happy for the internet. Let's see. You're on disability because your mental illness is so bad. Yeah, I've wondered like how that disability works with like mental illness, and I've never really looked into it. I hear you on the small talk. Yep. Let's see. We have another comment saying, when I'm around outgoing people, I don't feel interested, so I just stay in the house and no, Jesus is my friend. All right. I stay inside all day. Like, it's very hard for me to go outside. Let's see. Where am I at? I lost my spot in the chat. I appreciate all these comments. Thank you guys for just leaving comments and helping me out, figuring out what to talk about right now here in the chat. So if you guys are watching this right now, if you just joined, make sure you say hi. Let me know a little bit about yourself, maybe what you're going through, maybe ask me a question. Give me something to talk about. This is why I do these live streams, because I want to interact with some of you guys live, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So, I really appreciate all the support. Cool. I think you guys are great. I appreciate all of these comments. So, cool. What can I talk about now? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll go to look up some stuff. What do you guys want to talk about, actually? How are you guys doing? Where am I at? All right, so we got 11 people watching. Thank you guys for joining. My channel, this channel is doing so good right now. I am very happy where I'm at. I'm looking forward to the future and just continuously doing, bigger and better things. I haven't really done that much that I wanted to really, really improve my videos this year. Like a lot of times, like when you have an idea, like for what you want to do with your life, or if you have a goal that you want to accomplish, you can imagine it to be really great, but actually following through with getting stuff done and making, your imaginations like come true, like in terms of getting an idea to come into fruition, I guess it's a lot more difficult than you would think it is, and takes more time, and it's not always going to turn out as good as you think. So this year I set out to, organize my YouTube situation as far as videos, make better videos, talk about better stuff, get more views, subscribers and stuff. And I'm really happy where I'm at right now. But it definitely is not as much as I thought it would be. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do this year that I didn't do. Like I said, I was going to go travel. I never went and traveled anywhere. I said I was going to start working out and running. I never did that. It's like, man, I just feel like kind of upset at myself, for saying these are all the things that I want to do and then not actually following through with all of them. But, you make progress. Like at the end of the day, you have to try, you have to have something to aim for, I guess, right? You have to have like some goal in mind of what you want to do. And that way, you're trying at least to get somewhere. But, it oftentimes doesn't turn out the way you think it is. It never turns out as good as you think it would. It's always a little bit not quite as great as you thought it would turn out, but the fact is that you still, you know, as long as you're just making some progress, that's good, you know. Where am I at? Let's see. Warehouse is a good job. Let's see. What do you think started your depression? That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know what started my depression. I'm sure that, you know, depression is, you know, there's like stuff going on in your brain that, you know, you're just wired differently, or there's something going on as far as like, you know, neurologically, you know. So I know that a lot of my depression is, you know, I don't even know exactly. Like, I remember first realizing that I was depressed. I might have been depressed my whole life and not really known it, but I started realizing it right around the age of like 16 or 17, and realizing, you know, I don't know, like I've always had like a low self-esteem and stuff, and that's kind of been more of my, like, where I've really paid attention to myself and like my thoughts and feelings and stuff. Let's see, how are things going? How's the stream going? I gotta look at this real quick. All right, just making sure everything's fine. But I don't really know how it started. I mean, that's really a hard thing to say. I know that in college, like, I went to college, you know, I was probably like 17. I was like just turning 18 years old, and I went to school. And then while I was there trying to just kind of make schoolwork, I just ran into this huge problem of having like no motivation, having like really like a lot of emotional meltdowns and everything. And it got to the point where I just quit going to class. I just quit doing anything. I was in really bad shape, and like I needed, you know, it was like my tipping point. It was like my point where I realized that I hit rock bottom, you know, and I needed some sort of wake up call to kind of get me back on my feet and feeling good. And that's kind of when, that's literally when I started this channel. Like, if you go back to the very first video on this channel, that was like right when I, you know, I dropped out of school, out of university, and I dropped out of there, and I went back and I lived in my mom's basement, and, you know, I didn't have a job for almost a whole year. I was literally just living off my mom and in her basement, and it was, you know, I was very depressed. I would just lay in bed all day and just like I wouldn't get anything done. I was just a mess, you know, and I needed to get my life back on track, I guess. And then slowly but surely, I took steps, you know, to kind of just do what I wanted to do and feel better. I mean, I did go see like a psychologist for a moment at that point, but it didn't last very long because I didn't really think the experience was really helping me, and I wasn't really doing the greatest to really participate in the appointments very well, and plus it cost money, so I was just I was like, whatever, you know, I'm done. And probably not the best attitude to have about it, but you know, when you have like, when you're depressed, I mean, you know, life just seems like, you know, like it's like pointless, and, you know, you just can't get yourself to do the simplest of tasks. Like, that's the thing that I realized about myself, is that when I'm depressed, like, I still struggle with this. You know, it's like I found it hard to do simple things like clean my house or like shave my beard. Like, like I know that's a silly thing, like just everyday normal things. Like, I didn't even want to like I couldn't even get myself to go to work sometimes. Like, I called into work, you know, and used like a sick time or whatever. But it's like, just, it's like that's when you know that you're depressed, because you can't even do the simplest things that the average person would do. So the best thing to do if you're depressed or the thing that you should focus on, I guess. Not necessarily the best thing to do, but there's a lot of really great things that you should be doing when you're depressed. But like the focus when you're depressed is to be able to get to actually do these simple things. Like, don't start with trying to get your whole life together. Like, start with, taking these small steps to do the everyday stuff and that you think are that you're finding hard to get motivated to do, and then work your way up to bigger and better things. So start small. All right. That's usually the same thing for everything. Like social anxiety, it's like the same thing, It's like, don't try to overcome all of your social anxiety in the biggest way. Just, how about, just try saying hi to people, if you have social anxiety, if you're nervous to talk to people. It's like, just one person, do something nice for somebody. Start small. That is how I live my life. That is the attitude that I have, is small steps. That is what has helped me in every area of my life, is not thinking about, I think about things like in the long term and big picture and, but I just focus right now I focus on what are the immediate small little things that I can do right now, and not think about like the huge overwhelming things that are looming over me, that are intimidating, the huge things I want to do in my life. It's like, and it takes time, I realized just, everything takes time, and sometimes you just gotta take everything day by day, and your life isn't going to turn around, in a week or a month, but you can make changes starting today, and you might see the effects of them, in a year from now, if you start doing stuff well. And, so, I've seen that. I started doing things to improve my mental health. I've started doing things to improve my, other things, that I'm going through. And, some of those things, like, I'm just seeing the effects of them right now. Like, I'm sitting here, like, wondering, why is it that I don't feel that depressed anymore? And it's like, well, maybe it's because when I realized that I was going through this awful, horrific depression a year ago or a few years ago, I started doing little stuff, and then, like, I'm seeing that today I'm doing better. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah. All right, getting back to the chat. What do you do for a living? Let's see. I just have like a simple job somewhere. Where am I at? Whoa, a lot of comments. I got to catch up on all this stuff. Thank you everybody for joining and for leaving a comment. Just another reminder here, 28 minutes into the stream, that if you would like to support the channel using Super Chat, you can go ahead and do that. Financially help me out. I don't need your money, but always appreciate it. You guys help out so much, more than you guys even know. Let's see. Where am I at in the chat here? I can't remember. Okay. Magical thinking. I've heard about magical thinking before. I forget exactly what it is. I'd have to look it up or be reminded what that is. But let's see. I've been oversleeping a lot recently and kept experiencing brain fog. I hate it. Yeah, I used to sleep a lot, and then I started getting better at it. But lying in bed, eating crap, and drinking coffee. I eat like junk food all day. Something that I thought I was going to start doing more was eating better, and I don't really eat better. But I've been doing a better job at it a little bit, but not really. Okay, moving on in the chat. Sorry, this is probably boring for you guys. I apologize. I don't always know what to say. I do appreciate you guys' comments for helping me stay on track, give me stuff to talk about. Let's see. This summer, I discovered people watching on YouTube, and that's actually been so helpful. Sounds interesting. You said childhood trauma started yours. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can go through, or have gone through, situations like traumatic experiences that just, inevitably have led them to have mental health problems. And certainly, um, I would say that if you've gone through anything traumatic, it's like, I mean, I don't really know because, like, I don't want to speak on something that I don't know much about, but because I haven't really been through, I don't think I've been through anything really traumatic, but so I don't want to be insensitive to those of you guys who have, but I would say that if you've been through something traumatic, then I'm assuming that it would take a long time to kind of get over it, but gosh, I don't even have anything worth saying about that. Never mind, I'm dumb. All right. Excuse me. All right, I need to get more comfortable here because I don't know. I'm kind of uncomfortable at the moment. So it's been a half an hour. Thank you guys for joining. Half an hour. Been doing this live stream and feel like I haven't really said much. So let's see, what do we got going on in the chat? All right, back in the chat. This is so weird to do. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick because I'm getting my mouth is getting dry. Thank you guys for watching me drink a little bit of water. You guys are awesome. Until I met my new friend, I've always been shy, keep to myself with no social life. Nobody calls my phone since I came to live with my cousin because of a tragic event. My mom has antisocial issues. Interesting. Being bored, 2011 started my depression where I cry all the time in silence and be jealous of outgoing people. I mean, yeah, I'm so jealous of outgoing people. Like I see everybody can, because I don't have the best social skills. I don't interact very well with others. Like, it's hard for me to socialize and make friends. Part of it's social anxiety. And there's, I always look at outgoing people as, I'm just jealous of them because, it seems like everybody else has stuff to say to people. Everybody else is just, always being funny around people and joking. And, for me, it's like, I don't always know what to talk to people about. Again, the whole small talk thing. I don't really know how to do small talk very well. I don't really care very much for it. And, it's just like, I can't be that outgoing guy. I can't jump from saying one thing to somebody and then jumping to this other person. And it's like, it's just not me. And it's like, I'm so jealous of people that are capable of that sort of social ability, I guess. Let's see. More childhood trauma. Interesting. I'd have to really look into trauma because I don't know much about it. And I mean, what I'm most interested in is not what it is necessarily, but how you would go about recovering or coping or, because it's got to be something going through a traumatic experience. It's got to be something having not been through something really tragic in my life, I'd have to assume that it would be something that you can't just shake off and it would seem like it would be something that would constantly be something that you have to deal with throughout your whole life. So I'm curious, what would be the psychological strategy behind, what would be what would be counseling? How would counseling help somebody like that, or what kind of things would you have to do to, not, I don't know, how would you bounce back from something like that? Again, I don't know what I'm saying, so I apologize if this is, if I sound stupid talking about this, because I probably am, because I don't really know what I'm talking about. We got, yo, I'm 44 and was in care in the 1980s. I think school makes people depressed. I mean, maybe. Are there any foods that help relieve brain fog? I would not know about that at all. Thank you for being vocal, means a lot. Well, I mean, I just talk about things that are on my mind. Um, I don't really know why you guys are watching because I don't really have much to say. I don't really have the most interesting. I don't have an interesting life at all. Like literally, the only thing I really have to offer you guys are, what I'm thinking about, and you guys are all coming to me talking about like depression and like dealing with like social anxiety, and because that's sort of the stuff that I've talked about. But I know that, I mean, this is a big part of something that we need to do, right? Is like if you are struggling with depression, or if you're struggling in life not knowing what to do, if you feel like you're not motivated to do anything, or you just want to you just want to get your life together, these are the kinds of conversations that I want to have. But I don't always know what to say. I mean, I'll make a video and I'll say, hey, I feel bad today, or I'm depressed, or this is something I go through. But I don't always have like the greatest, like, I don't really know what to say like at times like this where I'm just live streaming. Kind of got to come up with stuff off the top of my head. And you guys are all coming at me with all this stuff that you guys go through, and it's like, I'm just a guy. I don't really know how to help you guys. But I mean, we have to talk about it, right? Like, we can't avoid it. And that's kind of the thing that I care so much about. The reason why I feel compelled to make these videos is because, like, we can't just avoid, how we feel. We can't avoid these deep questions, or we can't avoid dealing with our issues, Oh, let's see. Are you more depressed in the morning? I'm curious to know what people have to say about that, but I don't notice anything like that for myself. I got effed up in the 1980s. Sorry to hear that. Don't really have much to say about it, but we got, I just subscribed, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Where am I at? Okay, I'm just losing my spot in the chat. You guys have so many comments. I don't think I can get to all of them. Thank you guys so much. I shoplifted for toys. I had no food at school. It's crazy. Like, I couldn't even relate to that. Like, I have no like ability to really connect with that type of situation. These are the kinds of things that I enjoy hearing about. Not enjoy, that's probably the wrong word. I don't enjoy hearing that you had to deal with that, but it's something that maybe I can learn a lot from, is from your guys' life experiences, because I haven't really had that many life experiences myself. So I get a lot from listening to people, especially people who are much older than me. Whether, it's just like, 20 years older than me, if you're like 40 or something. Just because that's double my lifetime. So it's like I've been through a lot more than what I have. Baby steps are so hard. Wow, I must be really back in the chat right now, because you're talking about when I was talking earlier about taking baby steps. Some foods that help me are like fruits, veggies, anything natural. Stay away from junk and processed. Yeah, I mean, I've made obviously I know that it's better to eat good food than processed food, but like I took I think maybe 2 years ago, I decided that I was going to quit eating processed foods, because I would have a bad habit of doing that. And I've mostly done that. There's still a few things that I eat, but that's helped me a lot, and making more of an effort to eat healthy foods, because I'm not a nutrition guy, but I would like to be eventually, like work myself up to really eating healthily. And I think that does make more of a difference than what you would think. Just eating better, and for me, like, I would drink a lot of soda and not drink any water at all. And that was not good. Like, you got to drink water. And I found that out very quickly. that when I still drink a lot of soda, like, don't get me wrong, but I had like so much Coke today. Not the other kind of Coke, but like Coca-Cola. And I, I still drink a lot of soda, but like I started drinking like a lot of water, and like immediately I realized like just being hydrated helped me out. That was like a couple years ago when I realized that. Let's see. Trying to read stuff in the chat. I might skip over a few of these things. Yeah, I'm just going to skip over a lot of this chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to see if there's anything that really stands out to me in the chat here that I can really talk about. I'm psyched about this, Kenny. That's why I can't stop talking. Well, I appreciate it. You've left a lot of comments on here. There's a few people here who have left so many comments here in the chat, and I really do appreciate it because it gives me something to talk about. And today there's just so much here in the chat that I can't even get to all of it. Usually there's not a lot of people who join me on these live streams. So thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys have anything interesting to say, let me know in the chat. I'm going to say this one more time because, I got to throw it in there for all the new people who are joining. If you want to support the stream with a super chat, that is available to you. Again, I know that it might sound awful for me to keep bringing that up, but I just have to. So, how do you deal with feeling worthless? Well, when it comes to like dealing with like how you feel, like saying like I'm worthless, if you feel worthless, I've found that whole cognitive like therapy kind of thing method works very well. So they got that book, something like Feeling Good by like David Burns or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the whole title or not, but like that book kind of helped me go through like examining like what your thought is. So like if you say like I'm worthless, like basically just examining your thought, like why do you feel worthless? And you might say a whole bunch of stuff about it, and then I can't like come up with a good example off the top of my head, but if you did, you would maybe look at every little thought you had and realize that, most of the time you're jumping to some sort of conclusion, like you're making assumptions, or you're, assuming the worst of yourself, or you have some sort of all or nothing type thinking. And, a lot of what it comes down to is just being more objective of a thinker and not, not really believing all your thoughts. You got to let some thoughts come in to your mind. You see, if you pay attention to yourself think, you can kind of notice like a thought starting to form in your head, and you can kind of like, if you pay attention to it close enough, you can realize why you're thinking it or what is influencing yourself to have that thought. And when you look closely at it, you can realize that a lot of times what you're doing is jumping to conclusions about something or assuming the worst, and you just don't want to do that. So you want to catch yourself when you have a thought like that. But another thing to do is just realize that you don't have to believe every thought you have. Like, it's okay to have bad ideas, and maybe saying something like I'm a loser, or I'm worthless, or there's no point in life. Maybe you can think those things, but realize that you don't have to hold on to those thoughts. Like, just let it, watch it come into your mind and just say, okay, that's not a good thought, throw it away. That's kind of how I think about it sometimes, because I have a lot of crazy thoughts. I have a lot of like things that are just wrong, things I shouldn't say, things I shouldn't think, but you can't help what you think, but you can certainly choose what you are and what you aren't going to really like believe or hold on to. So I've certainly I've spent a lot of time using the method of that whole like CBT or cognitive therapy. And I've really used that method a lot. I've really like studied it by reading that one book, and I've looked at a few other things to kind of reinforce like my understanding of it, but like I have used that, and it has been the most effective thing for me, because that's what I struggle with the most. For me, what I struggle with the most are these negative thoughts I have, and how do I deal with negative thoughts? Because kind of the whole idea behind it is that your thoughts and your feelings are connected so closely. Like if you think something negatively, it makes you feel awful. And if you feel something negative, if you feel an emotion that's like, I'm angry, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed, or I'm whatever else, there's usually a lot of thoughts that are attached to that. There are a lot of thoughts that go along with your feelings. So if you just like really look closely at what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and maybe point out the flaws in the judgment, as far as like, are you jumping to conclusions? Are you assuming things? Are you using an all or nothing type thinking? It's like, give yourself a break. Like don't be so it's like how do you avoid that perfectionist mindset kind of thing? That's something that I pay a lot of close attention to. So that whole method has helped me realize a lot about myself, and that's kind of one of the major things I struggle with, and it's what's a reason why I have such a low self-esteem, is because you let these negative thoughts control you, and that's kind of what an issue that I've had has been. Where are we at? I have so many. You guys are literally like leaving too many comments. I can't get through all of these comments in the chat. Dang it! This is a new experience for me. Normally, I just have no comments. I guess that's what happens when you have 15 people watching, like today. Where am I at? Okay. So that was a great comment, great question. Let's see. Even if you haven't experienced trauma, you giving a voice to depression, mental illness has made me feel less alone. We're in this together, and we'll be okay. Thank you so much for the comment. That is a good thing, mental health and talking about like stuff like this, I think is really important, because something I've learned through just having this channel and being able to hear what you guys have to say is that I've really realized that mental health stuff affects all of our lives in some way, but obviously some people are more depressed or have been through like trauma and stuff. For some people, like there's like more of a serious issue when it comes to mental health, but just the idea of psychology in general is something that everybody has to pay attention, or maybe not everybody has to pay attention to, but it's certainly something that affects us all. Or I guess there's probably a better way to phrase that, but understanding psychology better can give you more of an insight into like everybody's behavior and what people choose to do in life and why, and how it affects them and everything. So I think that for the most part, it seems what I've realized is that everybody's walking around in life with some sort of emotional weight that they're carrying around, or some emotional baggage, or some everybody's got a story. This is what I've learned, is everybody's got a story of this is my life, these are all the hardships that I went through, this is how it emotionally affected me, this is how I feel right now, these are the thoughts I'm having. And for me, that's been such a eye-opening experience to really realize how many people this matters to, that the whole idea of being, a voice for these kinds of things. I mean, I want, the talk around mental health to really flourish. I actually believe that we are going to see mental health become it's already there's obviously a lot of attention on it right now, but I think that right now is just the beginning of these types of conversations. And what I've noticed is, a lot of the videos I've made on my channel, the ones that have gotten the most attention from people on YouTube watching, the one that's have gotten the most clicks are the ones where I talk about having no friends, the ones where I talk about being lonely. And loneliness isn't a new thing. I'm sure people have been lonely forever and throughout history, but it seems today, now more than ever, that we really do feel lonely a lot. And it's crazy because we have social media, which is supposed to connect us, which it does. Social media connects us, but we also feel isolated. We also feel alone in some way. And I don't know why that is, but it's so interesting to me to see this occur, having a YouTube channel and everything, because I realize what the issues are that people are having. I kind of have some data, through stories that people share, through comments on videos, and through just looking at what people search for and looking at what videos are popular on YouTube. I use that as a way to kind of notice what it is that people are going through. What are the common issues? What are the and loneliness seems to be one of those big things. Depression is one of those big things. And, I really hope that I can do something in the area of, something, for me, it's kind of hard to describe exactly what I do, exactly what kind of videos I make. It's sort of in the realm of mental health. It's kind of like mental health, psychology, feelings, self-esteem, mindfulness, talking about negative thinking, negative emotions, negative feelings. That's kind of where I go through. It's kind of what I talk about the most. So, but I think the whole big topics of mental health, depression, how to deal with, stuff like this, I think that's going to be a much bigger genre of content that people are making on YouTube. And though it seems like society needs to just get their mental health in order, I guess you can say. People especially if you looked up the suicide statistics, it is unbelievable how many people are, I thought about this a lot this week, how many people are ending their own lives. And that is a very, very sad thing to me. I was looking at how many because I was just curious, because I had this whole day where I was obsessively thinking about suicide and why people do that, what's going on and stuff. But I was trying to write something about it, but it's just mind-boggling. So what I'm saying is that mental health is such a huge issue that it seems inevitable that we need to have voices talking about it. We need to have people being honest, working through what works, because it seems like nobody, I'm sorry, but it just seems like what I see is people don't know. Should I use medication? Should I not use medication? It seems like nobody knows what works. What are the methods to overcoming depression? How do I get out of depression? How do I do all this stuff? How do I, what do I do for anxiety? What helps? And it's number one, I don't have a clue. Let me just start. I don't really know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. But it seems like even they don't have the greatest idea. It's it's just it's so complicated, it seems, because everybody is an individual person and everybody's got their own thing going on. And not only that, there are certain things that, aren't even necessarily like medical conditions, like psychological conditions that you can just like use medication for. It seems like some of the things that people go through are just life events. Like people just are not happy with their life. I mean, like sometimes it's not, for me, I know, a lot of the stuff that I go through is not even just mental health issues. For me, it's like, I'm just not happy where I'm at in my life, and that's causing me to like kind of hate myself a little bit. And it's like, maybe it's like we need to bring a little bit of like deeper, like finding some sort of fulfillment in your life, or what is gonna, it's like what's gonna ultimately make you feel happy, and how are you gonna be okay with your life? Because people, especially with social media, it's like you think your life has to be a certain way because you're comparing yourself to other people, and everybody has their life on display on social media, and it's like you're watching all these people drive like fancy cars and living the life on social media, and you see people doing all this cool stuff, and they don't have the same problems as you, or so it seems. They probably do behind the scenes, but you don't know it. And it's like you feel like your life sucks because you look at everybody show their best moments of their life on social media, and it's like no wonder everybody hates themselves. They're watching other people live live like a fantasy, and it's like, of course people are going to be depressed, and that's not like a physical thing going on, like there's not anything wrong with your brain. It's just in those situations, it's like life just isn't what you want it to be. And it's like, for me, it's like, how do you determine if what you're going through is an actual thing where you need to take medication because something's going on in your brain, versus are you just depressed because your life sucks and you're not doing anything in your life and you're not fulfilled very much. So for me, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't, like, I don't know, you can't just give somebody some medication and say, here, you'll be better, so we need some kind of like huge like movement of people to really, get a grip on this mental health thing, and like being happy and stuff. And it's just weird, because I'm so interested in this kind of stuff that this is kind of like what I think about all the time, and I think about how I can contribute to that, and I don't know how I can contribute to it at all, but I guess I'm kind of doing everything I can right now just by talking about it. But somebody's got to do something, and there's a lot of great people out there that know a lot about psychology, and there's a lot of people out there who are really good at talking about this kind of stuff. But it's like people would rather pay attention to, Jesus Christ, all the stupid shit that's on TV and all the stupid shit that's on YouTube. It's like people aren't willing to go this deep, I'm kind of weird like that, where I've always been like this, where I've thought about stuff like this, rather than care about all the crazy superficial stuff. Where am I? I'm not even listening to you guys. Isn't leaving comments in chat. I apologize. Let's see. Where am I at? You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Thank you, everybody, for the awesome comments. I'm sorry. There's just too many comments right now from you guys that I can't respond to. I wish I could respond to all of them, but I just can't get to all of them. But thank you to everybody who is leaving a comment. Let's see. Where am I at? I'm just reading your guys' stuff right now. Man. Wow, a lot of great stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's just too much for me to really answer it. But we are an hour into the stream, so I'm thinking about ending it right here. I really appreciate the time that you guys have given me. I might stay on. Hold on a minute, guys. Don't leave yet. I mean, it's really hard to say like what works. It's really difficult to say like what you can do, but that's why I always say like focus on the small steps, the baby steps, the little stuff that you can start doing, because it's not all gonna, you're not gonna transform your life overnight. You're not gonna just start feeling better, but you gotta like just take small steps and just see what you can do. I always feel like not knowing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. I mean, like it's hard to find out like what you should do in life. Like what should you do? You think about it too much and you don't get anything done. You think about like what you should do and just can't come up with anything. Huh. So I'm kind of losing it as far as like stuff that I want to talk about right now. I know that I could probably like read all these comments right now. But I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. It's been an hour. Usually I just do these live streams for 1 hour, and it has already been that. So thank you everybody for joining. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, you can share any of my videos and just kind of help them reach out to other people. So that's about all you can do. And then I will talk to you guys next time I do a live stream. I will have a video up this next week or more than one, who knows. So thank you everybody for joining. I had a great time just chatting with you guys. You guys all left awesome comments. So I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Have a good day. And see you next time. Bye.